Hello everybody and welcome to a Wagstaff Careers Coaching webinar. Today we have Clare Davis from Nova Associates joining us. Thanks very much, Claire. And it's really prevalent this week because it's Mental Health Awareness Week. So I really wanted to catch up with you, Claire, because we've obviously worked together quite a bit and mental health is really important in everyday life. But at the moment, we're in this pandemic, and unfortunately, a lot of people are finding themselves being made redundant and finding themselves unemployed. And it's really tough, isn't it, that you know, when you're trying to search for a job, even in normal circumstances, but this is really, really heightened. So I wanted to talk to you about and get your thoughts on how people can look after their mental health while they're job seeking.
Hello, Ruth, and hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you very much for having me here today. Mental health is something that I'm very, very passionate about, and I work with management teams, recruitment companies to actually look after the mental health of their teams and use preventative measures so that we don't have those mental health concerns. And at the moment, it is heightened, as you've mentioned, and it's very, very sad, some of the stories I'm hearing about what's happening to people. People are being made redundant, people are losing their jobs, people are being furloughed and feeling disillusioned. So what do people do to keep on top of things? And that's what my main aim is, to help people to train up first aiders, to have the confidence, to have those conversations, but also to help people on those practical skills with looking after their mental health so that they don't get in that spiral downwards.
Absolutely. So in this really tough time then, and people are finding themselves looking, you know, for work, and it's a daunting task, and there's lots of other things that are going off probably in their minds while they're looking for a work. They've probably got family members that they're concerned about, and they're looking, they're considering what they can do whilst working around young families, or if they're caring for older people. So it's not just about looking for the job, is it? You know, it's the whole encompassing area. And to pick up on what you said about the preventative measures, that's really, really powerful within businesses and how we look after our employees. But suddenly people are being thrown into an unknown where the best lot of planning couldn't have foreseen this, and suddenly they're at home on their own, job seeking. So what would you advise people to try and look after their mental health at this time?
Yeah, definitely. So when we're job seeking at the best of times, let alone through these difficult times, one of the main things if we're out of work when we're seeking jobs is to try to get into a routine and try to motivate ourselves. And that sounds a lot easier than what it is. But what I'm finding with my family is if we're in a routine every day, we all know what we're doing. We all have the same times that we go to bed every night and wake up every morning. We eat at the same times. And also, for those people who are job seeking, in the same routine of what times of day are they actually looking for jobs? What times a day? Let's allocate 2-hour slots. Let's have breaks. Let's allocate tasks to do to look for those jobs. And not all of those tasks need to be sending off CVs. It's all about building relationships with the right people via LinkedIn or if you've got contacts, because jobs will come up in the future. Not to feel disillusioned if there aren't jobs at the moment. So my idea is I get up in the morning, I do some exercise. That's key.
And that's really key, isn't it, in this whole job seeking environment? Because I think that people can be thinking, I need to get an income, I need to be thinking about the next job, and you can quite easily be sat at your desk or on your sofa looking for a job from the minute you get up to the minute you go to bed. And thinking,
it's not healthy.
I might miss something on LinkedIn, I might miss a post, I might miss something, and not breaking it down. Do you think people are fearful of stopping looking when they need a job? Do you think they're fearful of stopping looking for a job?
And what can happen then is a lot of time wasting, because they're stopping, they're so fearful that they're just doodling instead of being a lot more productive. So I get up and I exercise, then I meditate for 10 minutes, and that's focusing my brain to really achieve what I need to achieve during the day. Clear that brain, the mindfulness with all the positive things. Then I eat. I eat my breakfast at the same time every day, a healthy breakfast as well. Then I do 2 hours of work, and then I also fit in the homeschooling around my children. You know, there are some people who are looking for jobs who need to fit in the homeschooling. So from 9 to 1, my husband and I shuffle the children of the homeschooling plus the working. We work out who does each 2-hour slot. Then we all have lunch together at 1 o'clock. And then in the afternoon, we go back to work. And the children, it sounds like a short day, they've just had 4 hours of schooling, and they know the tasks they should be doing in the afternoon because we need to get back to our work. So that's a lovely routine. Then as a family, we all have our dinner together. So it's making sure in those, I believe in 2-hour slots to actually set some goals and achieve those goals. And that's going to really help us.
That's a really good point, because 2 hours is manageable, isn't it, of you doing something. And I think the other thing that that I'd love to sort of pick up and think and talk to you about is that eating healthy and that bit of exercise. And it doesn't matter what type of exercise you do, just that little bit of freedom out of that routine.
And we also all know our own bodies, and we know what exercise is good for us. I can't run anymore. It's not good for my hips.
No, I'm the same as you. I look outside today. It's beautiful, and I think I really would love to go for a run. But I know that my knees are just not going to take it.
Well, it's
about understanding yourself.
It's understanding yourself.
Showing our age, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. And I find walking is so good for clearing the head and planning.
Absolutely.
And then the foods. I know which foods do not help me be productive. I know that if I eat a lot of starch, a lot of carbs, I'm not as productive. I feel lethargic. Even when I'm tired, when I haven't eaten carbs, I still have energy. It's really intriguing. I can feel the energy in my body. Whereas even when I'm not tired, when I have eaten a lot of carbs, I feel lethargic. So that's me. That's my body. I'm not telling everyone that that's what happens.
No, but it's understanding your own body. And I think, and maybe people listening to this may think, well, you're a experienced professional. This is your world. So you've got this off. To a great routine. People that have never been in this situation before, and it's very overwhelming and very consuming, to make those first steps and the first things to do. What's the easy thing to do straight away to sort of maybe take a little bit of control?
Okay, to take a bit of control, what I do is I set goals. And setting goals, when we're job hunting, it doesn't have to be goals of how many CVs do I send off every day? How many jobs do I find? The goals can be, I connect with 3 HR directors from 3 companies that I would like to work with on LinkedIn, and I start the conversation. Another goal could be to make sure my CV is up to date and to make sure I've had others proofread it. I know my go-to people to do the proofreading, and my go-to people are those people who will look at it with a critical eye, and with that critical eye, pick out those points that are very powerful that will make me look better than the person next to me. Brilliant. And the other goals could be to actually have a conversation with some people, pick up the phone and speak to. Let's get into our network. These people we've been working with for years. Pick your top 12 people of who could help. And it's just ringing up, and I say to them, how are you going? Times are really difficult. And then, well, actually, I'm finding it difficult because I'm out of work. So
absolutely.
Is there any way that we could help each other? So
absolutely.
we ask them if they need help, and then we say, well, is there any way you can help me as well? And it's tapping into the people who are really positive and we know could help us. Not those people who will say, oh, it's Claire again. She's always being made redundant, or she's always looking for a new job. Well, it's a lot of people's situation at the moment.
Exactly.
We don't want to get into that spiral downwards.
No. And I think networking is a really positive way that you can keep connected. The good thing about where we are in 2020 is technology and social media, and use it in the right way. It's good.
Definitely.
And
imagine if this was 5 years ago. Sorry, Ruth, but imagine if it was 5 years ago and we didn't have Zoom the way it is.
I know. We couldn't be doing this.
No, we couldn't be doing it. So sorry, you were about to say something?
No, I was just going to share. So somebody contacted me on LinkedIn last week, and I really admired the way she was approaching everything. So she sent me she obviously connected with me, sent me an email through LinkedIn, and high level person, sort of a GM level, and I'll send you my CV, maybe we can speak tomorrow so you can review. Yeah, of course we can, absolutely. Had a conversation, hadn't got anything for her, but where she was looking on the interim, I said, maybe you should connect with another interim that I know, because sometimes they get multiple roles and maybe you can share them. And, I hadn't done anything really, just that connection. And she emailed me and said, thanks ever so much, we had a great connection. But she was saying to me exactly what you do. She spends the morning connecting with new people. There's not that many jobs out there at the moment, but she's connecting with people and having conversations. And the afternoon, she takes it for herself. And that's the routine she's got into.
Perfect. And we don't want to jump in the deep end and say, do you have a job? We're not at that stage of the relationship yet. The stage of the relationship is the beginning of sussing people out, filling people out, and seeing how we can help each other. It's all about helping each other. And that goes with Mental Health Awareness Week. The theme for Mental Health Awareness Week this week is kindness. So I look at it on two sides. A, kindness to yourself. Look after yourself. And B, kindness to others. Help others. And people will remember that. People will remember how we're reacting in these times. And that's what it's all about.
I think that is really powerful, isn't it? We do just need to be really, really aware and kind. And I think this situation has made a lot of people consider that element. But that is a lovely focus for this year of Mental Health Week, to be kind to yourself and to kind to others. So we've talked a little bit about how you can get a bit of control and get a bit of routine and do some small chunks. So what happens? This could go on for a long time. Could be, it's weeks, it's months. So how is there signs you can spot? How do you recognize signs? So you've mentioned that spiraling effect, so that you don't start to spiral. If you do, you recognize it and you can stop it, because mental health is a really serious problem, and anxiety, stress, all of this,
definitely,
it's at the height, isn't it? So once you get onto that path, how do you recognize it, and then how do you stop it?
Good point. And I know myself, throughout the 8 weeks, I've been quite pleased with myself, actually. I've had only 3 down days. Only 3. And I know what my triggers are. I know how I'm feeling, and I know what happens to me physically, in my behavior, and emotionally. So it's understanding what your triggers are physically. So for me, my back gets tense. I get those knots in my back. And my hips get tense. So when I'm doing my yoga in the morning, my hips are really bad. So that's a sign. Second one, behaviorally, for me, it's I'm not able to sleep. I'm waking up in the middle of the night wondering about things. For some people, it might be they're eating a lot more. For some people, it might be they're eating a lot less. So what's happening to our behavior? And the third one is emotionally. So for me, emotionally, just the other day, I just burst into tears over nothing. And it was just like, I just need a cry. I need to cry.
Know that feeling. I know that feeling.
So that's happened to me 3 times throughout the last 8 weeks. And each time I've spotted it and I've said, okay, what can I do? Because I need to be productive. I need to get things done. So I've turned it by going back to making sure I do my exercise in the morning. And you know what? Meditation's changed my life. So 10 years ago, we were going through, as a family, a very stressful time. We had a lot of traumas going on. And a friend of mine at the time said to me, meditate, you've got to meditate. And I'm like, I'm too busy to meditate. I've got a baby. I've got this happening. I've got that happening. You know, I had all these things happening, and I also had my fourth baby. So it was a case of, no, I don't have enough time to meditate. So through this, I set myself a 21-day challenge of actually meditating for 10 minutes a day. And it's changed my life.
Has it?
I am so much calmer. And then those 3 days where I was having a bit of a blip, it's brought me back in and focused me in.
Well, I have a feeling that I'm going to be picking you up on this subject, because meditation is something that I think people like the idea of and see the benefits when they see other people doing it, but getting into it is very difficult. So I'm going to come back to you on that. We'll be seeing you again on that subject.
Excellent. I will give you some tips.
To wrap up then, Clare, 3 top things, takeaways people can do from today and feel, okay, these are the 3 things I should be doing. It's bite size. I can do something. What would you suggest?
Okay, so the first one is an acronym, and it's called DOSE. So the D is, this is all about positive preventative measures. We need to give ourselves some drive. So with drive, the second one is goals. What goals do I have? So drive is important. The O of the acronym is oneness. So that's being unified as a whole, understanding ourselves. The S is stability. What makes us stable? So for me, it's meditation and exercise.
Yeah, okay.
And the fourth one is elation. So how do we elate ourselves? How do we get excited? And I'm finding laughter's really helping. Watching comedies, those little...
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, watching comedies.
I've been avoiding the news for 8 weeks.
So have I. One of the days I was down, it was because I watched 3 hours of the news. Never again.
Dear.
Never again. So watching comedies and those little humour things that come through, I save them up till the end of the day and watch them all with the family. So
fabulous.
I believe, I know you said 3 things, but I've actually given you an acronym of 4. So think about what we can do to dose ourselves up, give ourselves drive, oneness, stability, and elation. It's so powerful for those preventative measures.
Brilliant, brilliant. Clare, thank you. I was so excited when you agreed to sort of be an affiliate and that we could work together and you could support the careers coaching.
Thank you.
I always get seriously inspired, and I'm definitely going to talk to you more about meditation, and maybe that's one of the things that I definitely need to try and do.
Excellent. Good.
Your business offers lots of support. You've said a lot about the preventative side of things, and I know that's the thing that you're really special, your real speciality is, and that you really do support people on that. But just for people watching, what else can they find out about Nova, and how can you help them?
Well, my real passion is helping middle managers, because I became a middle manager very quickly in recruitment, as we all do when we're good at our jobs. And managing people is very different to achieving those targets. And I find if we have got excellent middle management skills, motivating our teams, coaching them properly, it's going to help with our team's mental health. So I offer a lot of middle management training, and what we also offer is the mental health first aid training. We are qualified as NUCO trainers as well as Mental Health First Aid England, so for their certifications, whichever qualification you prefer. But my real hotspot, my real signature is a course for mental health first aiders, very practical, to get them to feel confident to have those conversations, which are very sensitive, and then to be ambassadors of mental health and lead for the preventative measures. And that's not just the mental health first aiders, it's also those middle managers. So I offer a wonderful one-day course that can be done online as well, however you want it, on practical. What do I say? What do I ask? What are the conversations? What are the situations? What are some of the mental health concerns? Then how can we prevent the problems? And during this pandemic, we have to be so aware that mental health concerns are going to escalate. So
absolutely, we've already seen them, haven't we? Yeah, we've already seen
to
them.
be on top of it. We really need to be on top of it. So thank you,
Claire,
Ruth.
it's been a pleasure.
Can I say thank you back? Because I've loved working with you, Ruth. And, you know,
Brilliant.
I'm loving Zoom because I feel really connected with people on Zoom.
Yeah,
Some people don't, but I just feel so connected working with you. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and I can't wait
it's been
to work
great.
together.
And
great.
We will talk again soon.
Great.
Clare Davis from Nova Associates, thank you so much in supporting us on Mental Health Week. Thanks very much.
Thank you.